In the unassuming L Hotel nestled in Yibin City, Sichuan Province, China, a seemingly ordinary day took a disturbing turn on October 23rd. Officers from the Public Security Bureau of Yibin County were conducting routine security checks at local hotels when they arrived at the L Hotel. Their inspection led them to room 409, which harbored the lifeless body of a young woman, the unfortunate Liang Ling. As the police reached room 409, they were met with loud noises from within. A guest from a neighboring room complained about being disturbed all night, further raising the police's suspicions. The officers knocked on the door and identified themselves, but there was no response from inside. After knocking several times without success and sensing that something was amiss, the police asked a staff member to unlock the door. In the dim light of the room, the police saw someone lying on the bed. The figure's head and face were covered by a blanket, with only a strand of long hair visible. Despite several people entering the room, the person on the bed did not react. Sensing something was wrong, the police quickly approached, gently lifted a corner of the blanket, and the scene before them was utterly shocking. A young woman, with the upper part of her body undressed and the lower part wearing only black underwear, lay motionless, no longer breathing. Although there were bloodstains on the bed and floor, her body showed no signs of injury. Notably, around her neck were two belts, one black and one white. The autopsy report revealed the cause of death as strangulation by the belts, leading to suffocation. Lividity had begun appearing on her arms, indicating she had been dead for an extended period. The hotel registry identified the victim as Liang Ling, 22 years old, a local from Yibin who checked into the room alone the previous evening. The receptionist recalled her as being about 1.5 meters tall, very beautiful, and appearing gentle and polite. After entering the room, Liang Ling did not step out again. Room 409 was clearly the primary crime scene, and the police began to conduct a thorough examination of the room. However, the more they investigated, the more perplexing the case became. Strange details kept emerging. On the dressing table, the police found several skewers that had been eaten. On the nightstand, there was a blood-stained fruit knife. In the trash bin, there were wet tissues and a used condom, indicating that she might have had sexual relations before her death. In the ashtray, there were cigarette filters, and in the room, a pair of dirty men's socks, proving that a second person had been present at the scene. But when Liang Ling checked in, she was alone, so when did this person appear? The murder weapon was identified as a belt used to strangle the victim, but here's the strange part. If a single black belt was enough to cause suffocation, why was there an additional loose white belt? The forensic expert keenly observed that the black belt was threaded under the victim's hair, not directly placed over it to strangle her. This was even more puzzling. If the killer wanted to strangle her, they would typically wrap the belt around her hair as well, not take the time to thread it beneath her hair like that unless the girl herself used the belt to wrap around her own neck. If this hypothesis is correct, could she have committed suicide? This shocking theory was hard for everyone to immediately accept. The hotel surveillance cameras did not capture anything during the time of the incident, further raising suspicions. Hotel camera footage showed that after 9 p.m. on October 22nd, the victim entered the hotel and checked in. A short time later, a man also entered. At around 11 p.m., the man left the room alone. About 20 minutes later, he returned carrying a bag. At 2 a.m., the cameras suddenly stopped working and resumed an hour later. At 6 a.m., the door to the room opened and the man left alone. From then until the afternoon when the police arrived for inspection, no one else entered or exited room 409. The bag the man brought into the room was confirmed to contain grilled skewers. If this man was the killer, why would he have the composure to go out and buy food to eat with the victim? Moreover, the victim's time of death was determined to be between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Hotel staff recalled that at 2 a.m. the previous night, the power on the fourth floor suddenly tripped. It was only an hour later that staff noticed and reset the circuit breaker. Thus, the fourth floor cameras stopped working during this time. Was this a coincidence or deliberate? The footage from the cameras was blurry and did not clearly capture the suspect's appearance. During the investigation, the police discovered that Liang Ling had a boyfriend named Wang Bin, an employee at a pharmaceutical factory. Could this man be the victim's boyfriend? To better understand the victim's situation, some police officers visited her home. Liang Ling's parents, upon hearing the tragic news, were completely unable to believe it. According to them, their daughter was obedient and well-behaved. Such a thing could never happen to her. Liang Ling was known for her beauty, gentle demeanor, and understanding nature, beloved by everyone in the village. She worked with her mother at a hot pot restaurant in Yibin County. Her colleagues were also very fond of her. So why would a girl with such a simple and clean life end up dead in such a strange condition in a hotel room? Her parents refused to believe she would do something so reckless, but the theory that she was murdered also left the police puzzled. The only way to solve the case was to identify the man who had been in room 409. He was the key to unraveling the mystery of the girl's death. Due to the blurry footage extracted from the camera, both Liang Ling's parents and her co-workers believed the man strongly resembled Wang Bin. The two had been in love for 3 years and were to be married by the end of the year. But if they were so close to marriage, why did they have to meet secretly at a hotel? Could this man not have been Liang Ling's official boyfriend, or was this murder case actually a story of infidelity? To quickly confirm the situation, the police collected Wang Bin's hair sample from his lodging and compared his DNA with the blood found in room 409. The results cleared all doubts. The man in the video was indeed Wang Bin. At this point, the case was nearly solved, although many mysteries remained. The police believed that finding Wang Bin was the key to unraveling everything. Not finding Wang Bin at his lodging, the police searched his hometown but could not locate him there either. Wang Bin's sister gave the police a phone number, saying he had called her using it that day. Upon investigation, the number was traced to a public phone station in the nearby Weixin County. The police proceeded to this location. Unexpectedly, while searching, they spotted a man with a dazed appearance not far from the public phone station. It was Wang Bin. His state was extremely strange. His eyes were unfocused and foam lingered at the corners of his mouth. The police later learned that he had consumed nearly half a bottle of pesticide and had been vomiting repeatedly. Upon being apprehended, Wang Bin confessed to being the killer. Even then, he couldn't believe he had killed the woman he loved the most. 3 years prior, Wang Bin and Liang Ling had met and fallen in love through an introduction. In May 2012, Liang Ling and her mother started working at a hot pot restaurant in Yibin County, while Wang Bin rented a house nearby. During their time living together, Wang Bin noticed that Liang Ling's mother disliked him because he was poor. Later, to prepare for his son's wedding, Wang Bin's parents did everything they could to gather money, but were still short 20,000 yuan. Liang Ling's mother loaned the money but treated him with obvious disdain, which Wang Bin deeply felt. The relationship between the two families worsened over time. More than a month before the incident, Liang Ling and her mother moved elsewhere. On the day of the incident, it was Liang Ling who took the initiative to meet Wang Bin, hoping to reconcile their conflicts. However, Wang Bin was adamant about breaking up because his pride had been deeply wounded. The two began arguing heatedly. Around 11 p.m., Liang Ling lost control and grabbed a small knife from Wang Bin's keychain, attempting to stab him. To defuse the situation and allow his girlfriend to calm down, Wang Bin decided to leave the room for a while. About 20 minutes later, he returned with some grilled skewers, hoping to soothe Liang Ling. This explained why the video showed the man leaving the room and then returning. However, things did not go as he hoped. At around 1 a.m., Liang Ling again lost control. Perhaps to threaten Wang Bin, she took a black belt, wrapped it around her neck, and shouted at Wang Bin to kill her. This also explained why the forensic expert found the black belt threaded through the victim's hair. In the heat of the argument, provoked by his girlfriend's words, Wang Bin pulled out his white belt and tightened it around her neck. By the time he came to his senses, Liang Ling was no longer breathing. This was the reason why there were two belts around Liang Ling's neck. Once calm, he couldn't accept the reality that he had killed the woman he loved the most. As a result, he decided to commit suicide to join her. Wang Bin used scissors to cut the electrical wires near the door and grabbed the exposed ends to electrocute himself. However, when he cut the wires, the circuit shorted, causing the fourth floor's breaker to trip. Sitting motionless in the room, by 6 a.m., Wang Bin stood up, covered Liang Ling's body with a blanket, and left the hotel. On the way, he bought a bottle of pesticide. Despite drinking nearly half the bottle, he didn't die but instead vomited nonstop until he was caught. The case was solved, but its root cause lay in seemingly minor family conflicts, leading to an irreversible tragedy. Wang Bin was sentenced to death with a 2-year reprieve and was stripped of his political rights for life. He was also ordered to pay more than 20,000 yuan in compensation to the victim's family. In 2017, his sentence was reduced to life imprisonment. The Xiaoyang case serves as a stark reminder of the severe consequences of unresolved emotional conflicts. Suppressed negative emotions, if not properly addressed, can lead to devastating and irreversible outcomes. At the same time, the case also raises questions about the responsibility of accommodation facilities in ensuring security, from maintaining surveillance systems to properly handling unusual situations. It is also a lesson in the necessity of emotional control and resolving conflicts calmly to avoid making wrong decisions that can destroy the lives of many. The mysteries surrounding her death still linger in public memory, making the case one of the most haunting stories of its time. This tragic incident highlights several important themes and societal issues: domestic conflicts and their escalation, the initial discord between Wang Bin and Liang Ling's families, particularly her mother's disapproval of their relationship, and the financial tensions, created significant unrest and resentment. This demonstrates how seemingly minor conflicts can lead to serious consequences when left unaddressed. Mental health and emotional control. Liang Ling's emotional outbursts and Wang Bin succumbing to rage underscore the importance of emotional control and addressing mental health issues. Liang Ling's threatening behavior and Wang Bin's sudden violence indicate that both parties struggle to manage their emotions constructively. Importance of communication. The lack of open and honest communication in their relationship contributed to the escalation of their problems. If they had been able to express their feelings and concerns effectively, the tragedy might have been averted. Societal pressures and expectations. Liang Ling's mother's disapproval of Wang Bin was partly based on his financial status, reflecting societal pressures that can influence marital decisions. This pressure added an additional strain to the couple's relationship. Role of the justice system. The initial death sentence given to Wang Bin, later reduced to life imprisonment, reflects the complexities of the justice system and the ongoing debate between punitive and rehabilitative justice. Cultural and societal reflections. This case also sheds light on broader cultural and societal issues in China, particularly in rural areas. Marriage and family approval. In Chinese culture, marriage is often viewed as a union involving not just individuals, but also families. Family approval, especially in traditional contexts, is highly significant, and disapproval can lead to substantial tensions and conflicts. In this case, Liang Ling's mother's disapproval played a crucial role in the tragic outcome. Financial stability and social status. Wang Bin's financial situation being a significant factor in Liang Ling's mother's disapproval highlights the role of financial stability and social status in marital decisions. This is a common issue, particularly in societies where spouses are expected to meet social and economic expectations. Rural versus urban life. The setting of the case in rural Yibin County also brings to light the differences between rural and urban life, including disparities in financial opportunities, societal values, and family dynamics. Liang Ling and her mother's move to Yibin County for work and the subsequent issues she faced with Wang Bin reflect some of the challenges faced by young people in rural areas. Communication and conflict resolution. The case underscores the need for effective communication and conflict resolution, especially within family relationships. In traditional Chinese culture, conflicts are sometimes avoided rather than directly addressed to maintain harmony, which can lead to unresolved issues festering. This case highlights the importance of open communication and healthy conflict resolution strategies. Liang Ling was a young woman from a small village in Yibin County, known for her beauty and gentle nature. She was well-liked in her local community and had prospects for a happy life. Her job at the hot pot restaurant with her mother showed her to be both independent and family-oriented. This background contrasts sharply with the tragic end of her life, adding to the mystery and tragedy surrounding her. Wang Bin was a hard-working man who hoped to marry Liang Ling. His job at a pharmaceutical factory showed his efforts to provide financial stability, but he still struggled to meet the expectations of his prospective mother-in-law. His dedication to his family, who did everything they could to save money for his wedding, demonstrated his commitment to building a family. This devotion contrasts sharply with his violent actions, making him a complex character who is difficult to comprehend. The day of the incident was pivotal for the relationship between Liang Ling and Wang Bin. Liang Ling initiated the meeting, hoping to mend their relationship. This indicated that despite the tension between them, she was willing to seek to re-establish their connection. Wang Bin's decision to break up highlighted how deeply his pride and accumulated resentment had been wounded. The brief time he left the room to buy grilled skewers was a desperate attempt at appeasement and reconciliation. However, when he returned, the situation had deteriorated further, leading to the tragic climax. The psychological impact of Wang Bin's actions is profound. His attempt at suicide after killing Liang Ling reflected his extreme remorse and despair. His efforts to electrocute himself with electrical wires and subsequently drinking pesticide indicated his tumultuous state of mind and his desperation to escape the weight of the horrific act he had committed. The legal response to the case and the subsequent reduction of Wang Bin's sentence reflects the complex and multifaceted nature of the justice system. The initial death sentence reflected the severity of the crime and the public demand for justice. However, the commutation to life imprisonment suggests a consideration of mitigating factors, including the circumstances and motivations behind Wang Bin's actions. The community's response to the case is also noteworthy. For Liang Ling's family and community, her death was a profound loss and tragedy. The details of the case elicited feelings of shock and disbelief, revealing the hidden tensions and conflicts that can shake seemingly ordinary lives. The tragic case in room 409 is a stark reminder of the fragility of human relationships and the devastating consequences of unresolved conflicts. What began as a story of love, hope, and plans for marriage turned into a nightmare filled with violence, regret, and despair. The case underscores the importance of effective communication, emotional control, and addressing mental health issues. It also highlights how seemingly minor family disputes can escalate into serious and irreversible outcomes. The story of Liang Ling and Wang Bin is a cautionary tale about the consequences of our actions and how even seemingly insignificant decisions can profoundly impact our lives. It reflects broader cultural and societal dynamics in Chinese society, particularly concerning family approval, financial stability, and societal expectations. The mysteries surrounding this tragic incident still linger in public memory, making it one of the most haunting and disturbing stories of its time. It serves as a poignant reminder of the profound and lasting impact of such events, emphasizing the need to navigate the complexities of human relationships with empathy, understanding, and caution to prevent similar tragedies.